Hey folks, again, this is Jeff Clark, Regional Director here with Golden Care USA. Little brief thing about myself. I've been with Golden Care for 26 years. The first 5 years I sold in the field. I only sold long-term care, so I guess people always told me long-term care is a hard sell. I didn't know any better, I guess, since I started on that. But I sold a lot of long-term care. I eventually ended up needing products like this critical cash or critical care, short-term care, home health care, a lot of senior-related products and some Medicare stuff. So I've sold about 600 or 700 long-term care plans, and I got moved into the director position where I again compare, contrast, review different long-term, short-term care solutions for folks. So I spend most of my time now helping agents design plans. Depending on what you bring me, if it's a married couple that's healthy or a widowed lady that's got Parkinson's or something, I'm going to help you find the right plan. So that's kind of what I do now. Golden Care, as you know, is a full-service, long-term, short-term home health care shop. So this is a plan that we're going to go over today. It's called Critical Cash. And that's a plan that we actually put together to market exclusively with GTL. Now, they do offer it, of course, to their full brokerage now, but we worked kind of closely with them to put this together. And I want to say it was 7 or 8 years ago at this point, because even back then it was getting harder and harder to place long-term care plans. So in a nutshell, what we did with this plan called Critical Cash is we built a long-term care plan on a critical illness chassis. In other words, if you were to look at, now what do we have for even, can I move my slides here? Oh boy. Huh. Oh, it moved me out of, bear with me folks, sorry about that. All right. Let's go back to presentation. So if you look at critical illness plans and long-term care plans, there's a lot of things that are alike there. A critical illness plan is going to cover stroke, heart attack, cancer. So in a nutshell, we wanted to see if we could get an additional thing covered under the critical cash plan. We got critical illness plan to cover Alzheimer's. So when you look at how a critical illness plan works, it's usually a lump sum payment upon diagnosis of a covered condition. So for example, if you get a stroke and you get a critical illness plan, it's going to pay you a $100,000 lump sum of money. If you have a heart attack, it's going to pay you a lump of money. If you get a cancer, it's going to pay you a lump sum of money. All right. So we got GTL to cover dementia as well, Alzheimer's. So now you've got heart attack, cancer, stroke, and dementia coverage. No other critical illness plan does that. And then we kind of went to GTL and said, look, we don't want to pay a lump sum of, say, $200,000 upon diagnosis. Is it okay if we break these payments into monthly installments? So essentially, we're just taking a lump sum and breaking into monthly installments. So again, we built a long-term care plan on a critical illness chassis. Now, why would you do this? Well, again, we're getting an awful lot of declined long-term care cases. So as you're going to see as I go through this product, there's a lot of things that critical cash can ensure that long-term care companies will not take on or not do that risk. Because this is a definable amount of money. It's a set amount of money that's paid out in a monthly benefit. So again, we were able to be creative here and kind of create an alternative to a long-term care plan for a lot of folks that couldn't qualify health-wise. So that's kind of the main thing behind this plan. It's kind of a neat little plan. So let me show you how it works. I think we know who Guaranteed Trust Life at this plan. It's Guaranteed Trust's been around for a while. They have all these great little niche products, if you will, hospital indemnities and short-term cares and home health care onlys and cancer. And they really have aligned really well in that senior market. We've worked with them for, 20 years, and we couldn't be happy with them. Great little company, a lot of great products. Again, this is just some of the other stuff they do: recovery cash, short-term care, Advantage Plus, the hospital indemnities, just a lot of nice ancillary products in that senior market. Ooh, little sound effect there, I see. All right, so this is the critical cash, which I think is their most unique product. Again, we worked close with them putting this together. But what you essentially get here, and I know that I said that typically a plan is going to pay a $200,000 upon it. This has got a restoration of benefits in it, and I'll point that out. That's why you're seeing a buck of money at $432,000 there. But essentially, if you look at these covered conditions, cancer, heart attack, stroke, but then if you look in the purple, kidney failure, Alzheimer's, major organ transplant, paralysis, and coma. So we essentially just expanded on the typical heart attack, cancer, and stroke plans you see out there. We got Alzheimer's covered. So, and by the way, when you look at these situations, cancer, heart attack, stroke, and dementia, that represents, there might be a slide for that. Yeah, there is. Let's do that. Okay. So Alzheimer's, stroke, and cancer represent over 70% of the long-term care claims that are paid out. Interestingly, too, that it represents 70% of the reasons, but if you look at the actual claims dollars that are spent, Alzheimer's is the big one. That's the most expensive claim on a company. Cancers, not so much. People don't typically need a long-term care till towards the end when they're in cancer, when their ADL deficiency leaves. But strokes and Alzheimer's are the big ones. So where these three conditions, Alzheimer's, strokes, and cancer, represent 70% of long-term care claims, it represents a little over 80% of claims dollars paid out. So those big three there, that's about 4/5 of all your long-term care claim dollars paid out. So when I tell people you maybe can't qualify for long-term care, but it can at least cover you for 80% of the causes that causes you to need long-term care. So there's other stats up here. There's 13.25 billion in long-term care insurance claims been paid since 22. A lot of money out there. I get that. Excuse me. So anyways, what's critical cash going to cover is a lot of what you lost when you couldn't get your long-term care coverage. Another sound effect. Okay, so essentially what we really did here is we combined critical illness with long-term care. Again, building out long-term care on the critical illness chassis. And okay, so underwriting. So these are the acceptable conditions, and you're going to see that if you know anything about long-term care, these are knockouts on long-term care apps. For example, Social Security disability, immediate knockout. If anyone's for any reason, if you're on Social Security disability, you can't get a long-term care plan. You can with critical cash. Autoimmunity, lupus, scleroderma, connective tissue disease, walking aid. You have a cane or quad or 3-prong cane. ADL limitations, maybe severe back pain, nervous system problems, narcotic pain meds, if you're on the painkillers, unless tied to a condition, mental disorders, depression, anxiety, bipolar, all these on this screen, I can promise you, I've written them all and I've gotten them all declined over the years. These are all knockouts for long-term care, not with critical cash. And why is that? Why? Because remember, they're only going to cover you if you have those covered conditions I just mentioned: heart attack, cancer, stroke, dementia. So all these other things you're seeing here only represent 20% of long-term care claims. They're pretty long shots. But if you have a critical cash plan, you get lupus, it's not going to cover you. So, naturally, you can have these conditions and still get the plan. Okay. Other acceptable things: severe osteoporosis, physical therapy. You might maybe just got a hip. In long-term care underwriting, if you've had any type of physical, you have to be off the physical therapy for 6 months. So some people have had a hip replacement done 3 months ago. They're still getting a little bit of therapy. They're 9 months from when they can actually apply. Not with this one. Okay. Osteoporosis, cancer, pacemaker, rheumatoid arthritis, prednisone, methotrexate. We have a medication list too. Fibromyalgia, post-traumatic stress disorder. So again, these are not going to be underwritten by long-term care, but they are acceptable by critical cash. Okay. And it covers a lot of times where long-term care won't. They don't have the example of cancer. Let me give you what we're kind of talking about here. There is no 2 out of 6 ADL deficiency. To trigger a long-term care plan, we know that you have to have a 2 out of 6 ADL deficiency for what they expect to be a period of 90 days or longer. Okay. Well, with a critical cash plan or critical illness, it's upon diagnosis. So simply, your doctor says you had a stroke, bam. There are no 2 out of 6. There's no 90-day elimination period. There's no 90-day certification period. There is no elimination period. The claim is paid immediately upon diagnosis of a covered condition. So yes, it's going to cover a lot where long-term care won't. Someone gets cancer, for example, and you have a long-term care plan. Well, you don't need help with cancer usually till the end. The last month of your cancer is when the care really starts being needed. And so that's not going to, your long-term care plan never did help you. So whereas the second you get diagnosed, they're immediately going to send money to you. So it's easier to trigger than long-term care. All right, and it covers where long-term care won't. Heart attack, bypass, kidney failure, or organ transplant. These are not long-term care claims, right? If someone has a heart attack, they're typically up and back on their feet again in 2 weeks to a month, maybe 6 weeks, right? So remember, with long-term care, it has to be a period of 90 days or longer for the thing to pay. So there are payouts for this thing for heart attacks, bypass surgery, kidney failure, or organ transplant. Again, those are things that long-term care was never going to cover. All right, it's approval rate. We're now in 36 states plus DC. We're still awaiting, this is a little older presentation, but we may have gotten Ohio. I could be wrong. I think Ohio might be on the original plan. This is called critical cash now. We had another version that was called critical care. And so for Louisiana and Ohio, that's just on the older version, but we still have product there. Okay. Flexibility. All right. So this is where, again, I'm going to probably go into the software to show you some things, but all right. So there's 3 versions of this plan. There's plan A. Now, plan A more or less just says, look, we're going to cover you for everything I mentioned, the heart attack, cancer, stroke, dementia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now, what if you're someone who's already had 2 heart attacks and you've already had a stent put in, okay? Well, in that case, the company's not crazy about covering you for another heart attack, or for that matter, stroke, or coronary artery bypass surgery. But they'll still cover you for cancer. They'll still cover you for Alzheimer's, kidney, major organ transplant. So for plan B, if you'll see the X's here, they're just not going to cover you for stroke and heart attack, okay, or bypass surgery. But so you can still get plan B, which is basically the cancer care plus the Alzheimer's and kidney, right? Or the other way around. Maybe you're someone who's already had skin cancer once, you had breast cancer. So now we're not going to be able to cover you for cancer, but we'll still cover you for stroke, heart attack, coronary bypass, Alzheimer's, kidney. So that's plan C. We call it the cardiac care plus. So if you've already had a history of cancer and or heart issues, you can either buy plan or plan B or plan C. So we still can cover some of those conditions. And believe me, most people who have had cancer understand why they can't get their cancer covered. But you know what? Just because you've had cancer doesn't mean people have cancer. It doesn't mean they can't have a stroke or get dementia or, many things on down the road. So, it's still good to cover these other conditions. Remember, the things covered in this plan represent 80% of all LTC claims dollars paid out. So, okay. How this sets up, here's your benefit period. So what we're doing here is we're picking, I mentioned that we broke the lump sum payment that would normally come in a critical illness plan. We're breaking into monthly installments. And so we can have 6-month installments, we have 12, we have 18 or 24. I typically almost always quote 24-month because again, these are people coming from long-term care. They couldn't qualify for long-term care. So I'm really, if I was going to sell maybe a 6-month or 12-month, I might look at a short-term care plan before I would look at this plan. So just, again, this is my own 2 cents, 26 years of doing this. I really kind of prefer the 18 or 20 or the 24-month plan if I am going to quote this product. Okay. Again, this is page 4 of the brochure where I showed you how plan A, plan B, or plan C work depending on their previous health conditions. All right. So now your base benefits. Yeah, okay. So your base benefit, this is a bulk of the cost. And I am going to go to our software. I'm going to break out of this and show you the software. This is where most of the cost for this plan comes from. In other words, this is what you get paid no matter what upon diagnosis of a covered condition. So if I want $3,000 a month and I pick 24 months, well, example down here below, let's do that. If it's $2,000 a month for 24 months, that means I'm going to get $2,000 a month payments for 24 months, or I can select to have a lump sum. I don't know why you wouldn't. You'd get a lump sum of $48,000. Okay, so this is guaranteed money. Doesn't matter if maybe you are getting the monthly payments, and I don't know, you chose monthly and you died 6 months into it. The rest of that money is going to get paid to your family. There's no way of stopping this money from coming. You will get paid this, whether it's monthly installments or a lump sum. Upon diagnosis, whatever you pick for that monthly amount, So if you pick 2,000 a month and you have a 24, you're going to get all 48,000 no matter what. Now there's another wrinkle in here. It's called the facility benefits. Okay. So here again, I can get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Here's the trick. I can't, between the base and the monthly, I can't exceed a total of 6,000. So we have to be creative here. We can do 3,000 and 3,000. We can do 2,000 and 4,000, but we can't exceed the 6,000. So how that would work is, let's look at this previous example. Let's just say we did 2,000 a month here, okay? So, and that's that you're at home and you're getting care. But let's say that stroke did land you in the facility. We already know you're gonna get your 2,000 base for sure, no matter what happens. You collected your 48,000 on day one. Well, then you go to the nursing home. Well, this facility benefit, because I did 2,000, I could get a max of 4,000 on that. Every month that you're in a nursing home, they'll pay you an additional 4,000 then for that, however long you're in that nursing home for 24 months. So again, the max is 6. So I want to show you something here. Yeah, then they have restoration benefits. So let me escape this. And it's kind of a little easier to see when I bring the software up, in my opinion. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is, I guess we don't need names on here. I'll just put John Doe here. We don't know about who Robert Foster is. There's probably a couple in New Jersey. All right. So what I'm changing here is, here's the monthly base benefit. Now remember, you can't exceed 6,000 total. And actually, are you able to see this? You can see this? Okay. So here's your monthly. Remember, you can pick anything between, on up to $5,500, 500 to 550. So the example I think on the screen was a $2,000 a month benefit. Now, notice I went red here because I can't exceed 6,000 total. So I'm going to go into this monthly facility benefit. And I'm going to go ahead and put this out to, so I can go 4,000. All right. Okay. So now it's not exceeding 6 total. By the way, the premium's computing right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's $304.05 a month. Okay. And by the way, take a look at if I do change this facility. What if I move this down to like only $2,000 for nursing home and assisted living? You only change your premium about $19, right? So what you'll notice when you quote this, and I tell everyone that I'm trying to help put these together, most of the 80–90% of the premium here is in the base amount, that monthly base benefit. Because remember, that gets paid out no matter what. This facility benefit's kind of an extra. It's like and so I always max it out to a total of 6. So this person's 70, for example, $304. So with it like this, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this at one insured. All right. So what does this mean? So at 2,000 to 4,000, that means that if they have one of these covered conditions, let's go with the 24 months one, cancer, stroke, dementia, kidney failure, okay, they're going to get immediately $2,000 a month or a lump sum, which remember was $48,000. Now, because they had this stroke, maybe they're at home for the first 2 months and mom's trying to take care of dad, but she's realizing she's not able to do that. Okay, she can't lift him out of the bathtub. He needs some physical therapy going on. He needs an audiologist to work with him to get his speech back. It's too much for her. She's realized she's gonna have to put him in the facility. Now, if she goes to assisted living, she's got an additional $2,000 a month coming for the remainder of that 24-month period. So she spent 2 months at home. She's got 22 more months now at the assisted living at $2,000, or if she puts it in a nursing home, she's got an additional $4,000 for each of those months. Okay. Now, after this, I don't know, maybe after 6 months later, he gets better. He comes back home. Great. Everything resets again after 6 months. This thing is reusable. All right. So, and actually it's reusable 3 times. And, let's be honest, people don't typically, but people do have heart attacks and strokes and then eventually get dementia. Okay. So those things do happen. People can have a heart attack, have a bypass surgery, right? Matter of fact, we had a slide at one point with this product. I don't even know where that slide went, but Dick Cheney, while he was vice president, would have claimed 5 times on this plan. So, things can get reused in here. And I want to have to do, but let me just show you something else here. Notice how this premium again is the premium's $304. That's with a $25 policy fee in here, by the way. So that's broken in 12 months, but such a 301 here. So when I go back to here, what if I went with $1,000 here and I went with $4,000 a month? Excuse me, $5,000 a month. All right. So now if they go to there's here, I want to go to 5,000. So this is structured a little bit differently. Instead of getting a $48,000 lump sum and then still having a total of $6,000 available to them if they go to the facility, well, now I went to 1,000/5,000. My premium just dropped to 192. So again, a bulk of this premium is made up in that monthly base amount. So in this situation, they get 24 months of $1,000. They get immediately upon diagnosis, they're going to get $24,000. And that's going to give them some time to see if maybe they can make a go of it, taking care of dad, taking care of mom. If not, then they have an additional $2,500 or $5,000 coming to them if they need to go to a facility. When I'm trying to design this thing, I'm trying to make it affordable. So maybe if that customer was prepared to spend, or their long-term care premium was $194 a month, $175 a month, I'm going to kind of play around with this to try to give them a benefit that's going to be close to what they were just paying, right? So again, you can do any combination here, but I always will tell you, make sure it equals 6,000, because the facility stuff is all but free. I mean, it costs almost next to nothing to put that in there. So, whatever you pick for monthly, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, always max it out by having a total of 6,000. All right, I probably beat that to death. What's we got in the PowerPoint here? Claim time. Okay, they were going to start talking about restoration here, I think. Yep. So the benefit periods will be fully restored after 12 months following the end of the prior benefit period. The restoration of policy benefit does not apply to Alzheimer's disease or paralysis. I guess typically you don't get better from Alzheimer's. That's kind of common sense. All right. Okay. So calculating the maximum benefit. Why in that benefit pool you saw that $432,000. So in this example, 24-month benefit period, they went with the 1,000/5,000. Okay, base plus nursing home. That's times 3. So you can use this benefit 3 times. So to do the math on this, we're going to take $6,000 times a full 24-month payout. That'd be $144,000. If you were to use it 3 times, the max would be $432,000. Unlikely as it may be, typically it's going to be $144,000 payout, but we do have situations where it's repaid a couple of things. Maybe not 3 times, maybe a lot. But all right, optional return premium rider. I never sell it. I don't think it's worth it. It's the problem with it is that once you get to your 81st birthday, it's no longer in play, but you still pay for it. So if you're selling this thing to someone who is, their 60s or 70s, it's about 10 to 15% load. You get all your premiums back, less claims played. If it's in force when you pass away. But there again, once you live beyond their 80th birthday, it's now null and void. So I'm not sure it's the best deal, honestly. If you want your premiums back, just go buy a $10,000 little life policy. Okay. First day cash benefit. That is a very huge thing. You remember, once you hit that trigger, once you hit that covered condition, you immediately get a lump sum of cash. No elimination periods. Doesn't matter if you have other insurance in force. If Medicare or your primary insurance is paying a claim, sometimes you have, one be primary, the other one has to back out. This comes in lieu of any other insurance you've got. Okay. And Ben, I mentioned this earlier, benefits are paid even if you get better or you pass away. It goes to your beneficiary. Okay, so that guaranteed part is guaranteed. All right, it's guaranteed renewable, meaning as long as you pay your premiums, they can never take it from you. Here's a couple claim examples. So Bob purchased a policy with a 1,000 base. Remember, he went to 5,000. So you always want to equal 6 between the two. So well done, Bob, right? He bought a $1,000 base policy, 5,000 monthly facility. He did the 18-month benefit period. I always do 24, but okay. We did 18-month. Bob had a stroke. I kind of already used this example, actually. Bob had a stroke and was able to stay home for 3 months. Then his care needs progressed where he's admitted to a nursing home for the next 15 months. So remember, that first 3 months, Bob got that lump payment of $1,000 a month for 18 months. He got an $18,000 lump sum payout. Bam, right? Now, essentially that 4th month, he entered a nursing home. Okay. There, then, for the next 15 months, he gets an additional $5,000 paid to him because he's in the nursing home. So this thing paid him out the $18,000 lump sum. Then it paid him $5,000 a month for 15 months, or $75,000. This claim paid him $93,000. Okay. Let's look at another one. All right. I think we just did the same one. I'm not sure whether there's another slide there. All right. Oh, we're just going the actual ones. Okay. It's a colleague of mine that loves the drifting slides here, but so just what I said here. First, he got $18,000 right away. Then he went to nursing home, got $5,000 for the next 15 months, equaling $75,000. Total claim $93,000. All right. Plus Bob could claim again. All right. So that's your example. I guess there's a couple of them, but all right. So pretty neat little plan. Biggest takeaway here is, again, this is just simply a long-term care plan built on a critical illness chassis. We get around a lot of the underwriting. It's a neat little benefit. It covers 80% of the long-term care claims dollars that are paid out. So it covers the big ones: the heart attack, cancer, stroke, and dementia. That's the one thing that most critical illness plans out there aren't covering: Alzheimer's. It's very unique in that respect. And there are a lot of states that don't have a good short-term care plan, or you can't get long-term care coverage because it's gotten so expensive to buy, and or it's too hard to get underwritten. So critical cash is a great workaround for those clients who maybe do have some health issues, or maybe you've already had cancer, they've had a history of heart attack. And so it's a great alternative to long-term care. And even from this presentation, I know it seems like there's some moving parts there. And if I kind of jumped around the software, just rely on us. You know, the folks here at Golden Care will help you put together a quote. We'll help you run that software. We'll get your brochure. We'll get you the application. We'll get you a tutorial how to go ahead and do the online e-app. We'll make you look real good. All you have to do is bring us a case you're working on, one that maybe you won't take long-term care. Maybe it will. Maybe we'll shop it with some of our other products. But we'll help you out. We'll get the right products in your hand. We'll get you the know-how. We'll get you the quotes and proposals so you can look real good to your client. So remember, we're at 800-842-7799. Love to have you help you with any case you are working on. But I sure want to thank you for taking the time to be on with us. I know it's a little kind of short and sweet here. Half hour is a good amount. All of our recordings, or all of our webinars, are recorded, and they can be found at goldencareagent.com for all the products that we do. But the main thing I would say, honestly, is just bring us anything you're working on. We'd love to help you. We'll help you find the right plan and get you ready to sell it. So again, 800-842-7799. Give us a call, and I want to thank you guys for coming on. Let me see if there's any questions typed in here quick before I let you go. There's not. So either I confused the heck out of you, or you guys kind of got it. Call us if you need us. Thanks a lot, folks. Again, 800-842-7799. Have a great rest of your week, and thanks for coming.
Golden Care is always here to serve you with new tools, new products, new ideas, and new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 and check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.